Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel. We continue our journey to explore the top 10 builders of Hyderabad. And today, we're exploring the seventh most prominent builder, which is Prestige in the alphabetical order. Interestingly, this is the only builder who is not based out of Hyderabad that features in top 10. Goes to show their very strong presence, not just in Hyderabad but across India. You could truly say they're a pan India builder. Alright, so let's do this in three parts, like we usually do. Understand the background of the builder, where they're from, what's the credibility, list of projects, price points, and then my own viewpoint on their strategy. This is the second generation of founders that are managing it. As you can see on the screen, Irfan, Rizwan, Noman, these are the brothers who currently manage, started by their father. And ever since then, they've been very transparent with their pricing, revenues, profit margins, and all of that. They make 17% in terms of profit margin for those interested. Last year, they did about 1600 crores in profit, which is their net income bottom line. I'm just sharing this just so that you get a wider perspective on the company and their approach. The moment they turn into a public company, their strategies and their approach towards construction, PR, visibility, all of that changes. With that, let's jump into a more detailed view of the kind of projects and price points. They entered Hyderabad in, I suppose, 2014, 15-ish, based on my memory. I could be slightly off here. But they started with this first project, which is Prestige Ivy League. And then at the same time, in roughly few months span, they started Prestige Highfields. Now, from get-go, clearly looks like the management is a dual strategy, which is take one established location, prime location, start a project there, and then diversify and have another project which is an emerging location. They have a very similar strategy with all of these Neopolis Coca Belt set of projects, which you could say is the new core, and then a future location that they're betting on. Right, so that's broadly how they play, and also a very similar take in other markets based on what I've seen. So, in a chronological order, let's just see what they've done. Prestige Ivy League, successful project, 3 BHKs, right in Kundapur High Tech City area. Only resales available. Prestige Highfields also resales and maybe potentially some first sales. Bang in Financial District, centrally located, great location. The only feedback, if you just text mine and sort of analyze all of their reviews, you can see that they're slightly negative on the maintenance aspect when it comes to this project. Now, after this, they've launched two projects along the Golden Mile layout, which is Prestige Tranquil and then Prestige Beverly Hills. You would have noticed both of these projects are readily available to move or to rent. In fact, there are a bunch of folks selling properties in Prestige Beverly Hills. If you're interested, do check them out. The price points here are around 11,000 per square feet, 11 to 12,000. Some of them may even sort of touch the 12,000 mark, all inclusive, without the GST and registration. Right. So, and all of these are exclusive to 3 BHK communities. In fact, they've taken pride in handing both of these projects on time. In fact, their CEO sort of flew down, inaugurated, post the OC, and shared a few thoughts around how they've been quite diligent in sticking to the timelines. Then their Neopolis bet, Prestige Claremont. My personal POV is that this is a slightly underwhelming project versus the competition that they have for Neopolis as a micro market. Right? So you clearly see immense competition from the likes of My Home, Satwa, even their sister Bangalore player, Brigade. All of them have done a lot more and have come up with better plans or density for Neopolis as a location. So Claremont, slightly underwhelming in my opinion, but happy to take a counter POV. Then going into the diversification bet, They've started with Prestige City, which is almost like a township. I wouldn't say this is a gated community anymore, but they've really integrated a mall, villa community, and an apartment community all tightly packed within Prestige City. I say tightly packed because I was slightly disappointed with the density that they were offering in this particular project, especially for the apartment, given how far you're going. So this as a location, I mean, this belt as a location predominantly caters to, maybe the daily commuters or regular commuters to the airport, and less so to the IT community. Like you can safely say that this is not a spot on or a bang on location for the IT community at this point, or for the ones who work in the core central areas of Hyderabad. So from that perspective, the density was a notch higher than what I would have expected. But they've done really well. Their banners sort of claim that they've posted 3,000 crores in sales. And similarly, the Prestige Spring Heights, which is their most recent offering, has done phenomenally well as well. They boast around 1,200 crores in sales in the first week. Again, phenomenal, great numbers. I think they've priced it well for that location, or at least the market is sort of given them that response that this is a good price to enter. 3 and 4 BHKs, and I believe they also have smaller sized units. Yes, they also have 1 BHKs. This is the only builder who offers 1 BHKs, which is, in my opinion, quite strange for Hyderabad market. But you got to experiment, you got to try and see if it works. So yeah, that's Prestige Spring Heights. They're going for about, they started at 7,500. I suppose they should be going for about 7, 8 to 8,000 per square feet, and then this should be around the 8,000 mark as well, given that it's slightly advanced in terms of construction stage. Now that's everything. They do have a villa project here called Prestige Royal Woods, if I'm not wrong, a small villa community sold out long time ago. And then they also have a premium gated community, apartment community here, which is a joint venture, Prestige Rainbow Waters, 4,000 plus square feet, low density comparatively. So easily 5.5 crore ticket size for this particular apartment community that they have. And then two other plotting projects. Sorry, I'm jumping a bit, but trying to stick to the order of launch. But the two gated community plotting projects that they've launched is Nirvana. Again, this has been a massive successful project for them. They launched it around 23,000, and now it's going for about 1.5 lakh. So clearly a 6x jump in about 6 years, I suppose, or 6, maybe even slightly more, but still phenomenal returns for the early investors. But I see a lot of them building their own homes within this community, which is always a great sign. And then they also have one project, again with that Vaishnoi group, which is also a joint venture for the Prestige City. This is a plotted gated community as well, which is Prestige Orchards, going for about 55,000 to 65,000 a square yard, subject to slight correction. Alright, so that's the list of projects. My own take, very strategic, core and satellite sort of a concept where you have your key project in a central location and then also have a few projects in the upcoming emerging locations. It's worked well for them. I've shared my feedback. My own reflection is that they tend to focus a little more on, or at least go overboard on their density. That's one issue. Maintenance has been a concern in some projects, so something to take note of. They're good with their timelines, they're good with decent quality, on par with our local favorites like My Home, Aparna, Rajapushpa. I would put them in similar league. Even from a price point, they also, if you have a same location, two different builders like Prestige and My Home, they would price it roughly in the same ballpark. And they're a very transparent company. That's something that I like. If you go to their website, you can clearly see all of these price points, which is quite rare in a real estate company, and that's one of the perks of being a public company. Well, that's it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. with that, for the next set of players, the last three, we are back to our local base and we'll explore some of the local players. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like, share, and subscribe as usual. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.